Hey, it's Jim with Cyber-Recon, back talking more about getting you into the security field and helping you pass the Security Plus exam. Today's topic, we're going to talk about cross-site request forgery, or CSRF or XSRF. So let's jump into the slide deck and look at this thing. Again, we're talking about Security Plus, compare and contrast types of attacks, 1.2 types of attacks, in this case, cross-site request forgery, XSRF or CSRF, sometimes referred to as CSRF by some folks. So we look at this. The basics of this attack is exploiting a user that is logged into a secure site or using something like a persistent cookie in a browser, like a persistent banking cookie. The user is normally sent this malicious code through some type of phishing attack. Can be text or email, or it could be a link or something they click on a malicious site. It could be a form within a malicious website or something like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to fool the user into running some code that will gain us access to something that we want on their system or something we want their system to do. So let's take a look at what goes on here. Here's the setup. We have Alice, our normal good user. She's going to log on to her banking website through a normal logon. Nothing malicious going on here. Probably some bad coding on the banking site. That's what's going to allow this attack to happen. So it's really a flaw in the backside processing, the processing that happens on this bank's website. So really, if this didn't occur, then this attack wouldn't be possible. So what is going to happen next is our friend Hank the hacker is going to craft a specifically built malicious email. And in this case, we're going to send a message to Alice saying, hey, look at these crazy pictures. And we know that Alice has her sock business online. Maybe they're crazy sock pictures. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to try to get Alice to click this link so it's going to exploit the fact that she's logged into her banking site. What's going to happen if Alice opens this email? Well, she's logged into her normal site. There's going to be malicious code within the email that she's clicked that's going to also run from Hank's evil website. And that's going to request a transfer from her bank to the attacker. So it's running in the background. It's used the fact that she's logged on to her banking site, and there's been some flaws in the way that banking application was created. It's going to allow Hank's code to run once she clicks it, and it's going to do a cross-site request forgery. So it's going to take her credentials and pass them over to this other piece of code that's going to run and then transfer funds to Hank the hacker. So what it could look like is something like this, is in a piece of email, there could be an A tag or piece of markup language that's going to transfer money and the amount, and then what the hyperlink is going to look like is that piece that says, look at this crazy picture. That's the only thing that Alice is going to see, unless she hovers over it, unless she inspects the code, right? So it could also be an invisible image on a website or in a web form, which is that second one. The image source is going to be from the banking site when we're talking about doing a transfer to Jim's account in the amount of $1,000, and then we see that the width and height of this image are 0 with the 0 border. So that means there's no space there. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this code to run, because then the action will take place. We'll be able to run code that's going to do something that Alice doesn't want to happen, and doesn't even sometimes know is happening in the background. So it could be hosting to a website, it could be transferring money, and the big thing is if she's logged on to one site, we're using this code to exploit that login and the fact that that code for the bank site or whatever site she's logged into wasn't done right. So it's exploiting that poor coding practice. So as always, I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon. On YouTube, we live, die by the likes, comments, and subscribes. So obviously, we'd like you to do that. Hit the bell to be notified. Let your friends know. We'd love to see more people in the security field because, honestly, we just need them. So until next time, be safe out there.